otherwise known as Bulk and Skull, Zordon, or Jason Narvy, Paul Schrier, and David Fielding. Welcome them in with a nice Bangor round of applause.
Do not touch that!
Pay no attention behind the man behind the screen.
One mic, three of us. Boy, I'm not a mathematician, but I know.
This is what Comic-Cons are like in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God. This feels like a horrible intervention. It's such a small, steamy room. It feels like you guys are like interrogating us here. You know, I was never a member of the Communist Party.
Hi guys. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for visiting us. We don't think we need microphones since we're all standing in a closet.
Like seriously.
We were all taught to project our voices.
This is a utility room.
This is the room where they store the chairs.
So we everyone take a chair and move to the side.
It's like a parting gift. You can have it. You can just take it home.
So what do you want to talk about? Huh? You brought us here. Well, that was quick.
I've been thinking for like 20 minutes.
I hope you've been thinking longer than that.
So the characters on the show, maybe with the exception of yours, Mr. Fielding, everyone is kind of silly because it's a kids show.
Right.
Where do you draw that inspiration for such a silly character?
For being silly?
Yeah.
We did a lot of reading of the history of silly people. And we tried to find the silliest people that had ever battled dinosaurs. There's a museum in Missouri that talks about people and dinosaurs. Anyway, where did we do it? Watch a lot of freaking TV as kids. A lot of slapstick comedy. And a lot of C-SPAN.
You know, the thing about the comedy, if you think about the comedy that you love, it's played super honestly, right? And so coming up as actors, coming up with objectives for the characters, determining what the character really wants in a given scene and really putting that forward as the main objective, as your goal as a performer, that just helps sell it all because it just comes off as genuine.
The fact of the matter is an idiot doesn't know they're an idiot. That's why they're a freaking idiot.
Hey!
No, not you, Paul. Not you, Paul.
Other idiots, you mean.
So that's the comedy of the thing, right? They have to take themselves as seriously as possible. Look, Jerry Lewis trips and dumps a cake. Everyone's gonna go, but
Hey,
if you have...
Hey,
what?
He hit me.
Who?
He hit me.
Who?
Me.
If you have Clint Eastwood fall and dump a cake on somebody, that's comedy with a K.
That is comedy with a K, because I'd like to see that.
Good question. Next!
That's a good question.
That was a good question.
Don't be scared. So, as the two main characters of Power Rangers for about 6 to 7 years, all three of you probably have a lot of stories. What is your favorite scene that you got to work on during the time you were on the show?
For me, it's the Countdown to Destruction episodes where we get to have our penultimate Spartacus moment and kick ass for 17 seconds.
There was one that we did, I don't remember what episode it was, where Bulk and Skull, the one we found out who the Power Rangers were, and then we saved them, and then we lost our memories. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember it.
We had some fun times with animals on the set. Anytime you have an animal on the set, oh!
You guys did chimpanzees at one point, didn't you?
We were chimpanzees.
Yes, we were. I feel like there was one day though where we had a shut up, you! That's my phone. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Where we on the same day we had a baby chimpanzee and we were old ladies in drag.
Yep.
On the same day, within hours of each other. We're like, can we lose any more dignity? Okay, your dress is ready, Mr. Narvy.
Oh wait, but first you have to kiss this chimp. But after that, we're gonna throw a cake in your face.
The chimp will. We couldn't even find a human give us the dignity of having a human being drop a cake on us.
So, I know this is a panel where you're supposed to ask me questions, but I've got some serious issues with the Power Rangers. Who cleans the command center, Zordon?
I think the command center was self-cleaning. Alpha did a lot of cleaning too.
So Alpha is really kind of like a robotic slave by your definition?
Yeah, I mean, no real compensation for the autonomous robotic entity. No.
I don't want to be racist, but Alpha's head is two walks put on top of each other.
You're not being racist, Paul. That's literally what they are.
I know that.
And then shellac with that gold.
I know that.
Spray paint they won't let
But when you go to Kentucky, no one's going to serve you barbecue in a wok.
Touche.
Thank you.
Well, but Alpha had that strange walk. Remember? Alpha walked funny.
Oh.
It's a pun, people! Verbal humor. Okay, next question.
So, David Fielding.
Yes.
The famous line, turn and observe the viewing globe. I just wanted y'all to move the viewing globe so nobody had to turn.
You ever think about that?
Well, see, I think Zordon was very frustrated in his existence because...
In a tube?
Yeah, because he was stuck in a tube. The command center was basically laid out that way by Alpha, so I mean, he really had couldn't say, hey, can we move the viewing globe over this?
Wait a minute, he's supposed to be like all powerful. How powerful can he be if he can't arrange his own living room? He can't put his TV where he wants it. That's not a lot of power, my friend.
And you try to tell the robot to move it, and he breaks it all the time. So
I think your existence in the tube as a character, you were, through the sheer force of your powers, you were keeping the morphing grid intact. Am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. I am a nerd.
Which is why when it was shattered, all the good energy that was released transformed the bad guys into good guys, or the putties into dust, or whatever.
That sounds like a hippie thing. The good energy. Is everyone in Power Rangers that's just nice to each other every episode?
Well, they generally were, except
Towards us. I don't think I realized how terrible Bulk and Skull really had it until I had a kid. And he can watch the Power Rangers, but he can't watch scenes with us because we are abused so horribly.
Yeah.
It damages him. And I'm
So
not
you
kidding.
think that Bulk and Skull were punks? We were bullies? Well, let me tell you the real story. The real bullies are the cute kids on the football team.
Right?
They're the ones that had their boot on our necks for years. The fact that we're so close is a testament to our resiliency.
I just want to go on record and say that I think these two guys are the heart and soul of that show.
Oh,
And, for me, these guys are Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, Laurel and Hardy. They're that level of talent and comedic stuff. So all of these guys, if it wasn't for these guys, I don't think the show would have been as successful as it was.
It's like a moldy sandwich. In every couple decades, a fat guy drops it and a skinny guy kicks it, but they have to keep running. And then a decade later...
Wait a minute. Wait, let me go with this metaphor. If your sandwich is running, if your sandwich has developed feet,
No.
eat it extreme.
No, the fat guy is holding a sandwich.
Oh, I see.
It's an Olympic torch analogy.
So your sandwiches are catching fire and running.
And now Muhammad Ali will ascend the 752 stairs to light the... Oh no!
I think there's an outtake somewhere on the cutting room floor of Alpha bouncing around the command center, blowing things up, and I'm in the tube going, idiots. Somewhere.
Oh my God.
They did, the end credit kind of comedy bits, right? The outtakes or whatever. So there was what they call an F-reel that was played at the rap parties. And it was a conglomeration of every off-color comment made by an actor when they would screw up their lines or whatever. And I know this is hard to believe, but we screwed up a lot. So there was a lot of footage in that. And I tried so hard to get that, but they were like, no way. Because that's gold.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure.
gold with a K.
14.
Right, it's 14.
40K. All right, other questions. I saw a couple. That guy right there, you were embarrassed to do it, but I'll put it up nice and high. Nice and high.
What do you think Vulcan's skull did to celebrate the day Vulcan made it back to Earth?
Well, Skull was nowhere to be found, apparently. He was busy, having kids.
You know, your first mistake is expecting continuity.
We had talked about this a few times,
I know.
like way after the fact.
Hey, so we're bringing you back from Power Ranger Samurai. I'm like, I am on Miranoi, man. You've got a huge problem. You gotta write it. Get me back. Got like a Robotech problem. Just like when the original communicators came on the market and you all reached for your wallet spontaneously, like that.
Like, hey, doing? Where's that money going?
Why am I buying this? Why did I just buy this $100 Saba?
You in a marker.
So there's stuff that I'm totally gaga for that I grew up with, and so I get it. And because, as Narvy often says, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Like we yearn for those days because they were simpler days for us, and so I think it's a tangible, palpable thing. And we were really fortunate to not just be successful as actors and get to perform, but for so long, and for characters that were written for Jason and I, it's a huge gift, man. And now to get to come and meet all of you and fight with you in bars like I did last night.
That's awesome. It's kind of one of the reasons. I mean, it really is one of the reasons I went into higher ed. Is that as an actor, there's always this disconnect between your projects and yourself.
Who's this Ed guy?
Ed, no, higher ed. He's higher. Higher ed, and then his
sounds like a
his stuff that he does. Yeah, higher ed is a hippie.
So is that why you became an educator?
Yeah, because we'd done an interview with some kids when we were doing a PSA, and I felt like a total d-bag because I was getting like the usual Hollywood, the shtick stuff. And it was like, what are you doing, man? So that's why I said, well, if we have a bully pulpit, which you do when you're in entertainment, you have a bully pulpit, and we have these characters that are jerks and all this stuff. If we ourselves become jerks and all that stuff as human beings, what difference does it make that it's making a lot, connections in lives?
So if Jason Frank is not here, you don't have to hold back.
I wasn't talking about Jason David Frank.
Sorry.
Amy Jill, however. So that's why I went into higher ed, is that I'm like, look, we're making we're in all these people's lives, but I didn't feel that I was really a role model. So that's why I went into higher ed. That's the God's honest truth.
So you had a come to Jesus moment on this topic.
I did. I absolutely did. I remember it very specifically.
Well, now you're a college professor and you're $150,000 in debt. What do you do now?
I'm going into robbery. Everyone has a car, a van with no windows, and maps of all the banks throughout
Vermont.
Vermont, yeah. We could rob Vermont blind. It's okay. We're Maine.
In the back, there was a question way back there. What's your question?
Oh, yeah. Well, two questions actually. Just kind of divide up between you guys because it's separate circumstance. But anyway, first off, honestly, Vulcan Skull have fought more monsters without morphers than most people who are given them. So if you were offered the part to take up and actually play Power Rangers, would you?
We don't need to.
I don't know, man. It's like the donkey with the carrot and the stick thing. If the donkey gets the carrot, he's not going to walk anymore.
So you're saying that we would have a problem with ambulation if we became Power Rangers?
No, I'm saying that if you were an ass,
I'm not saying it. You can't be Vulcan Skull and Heroes.
That's true.
You just can't. It's a contradiction in terms.
Theoretically, you could say that the entire show was about your arc from being, jerks
Yes.
to becoming heroes. So
thanks, Tom Stopper.
Yeah. I think that was Jordan's plan all along.
Dude, it's like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
I
Vulcan
just-
Skull are dead.
Shit, Sherlock, I just said that.
I know you did. I thought you were.
Some people were with me.
My long-term plan.
You want to get questions? Hesitation! God damn it! Want to go again?
Do you really think we should?
What are we doing? Hesitation! Damn it!
So the game of questions. Try playing the game of questions sometime with a friend. No statements allowed, no rhetoric, no delay, and you both must ask questions of each other. And it's like tennis. You score it, 1 love, 2 love, and then.
Do you want to show them an example?
No.
Statement! See how it works? It's a great game!
You won. You won. All right, you got one more question before we eject you into space?
Is it an either-or proposition?
No.
Okay.
Statement! Okay.
I'm going into space regardless, so it's more or less a question for confidence. I just like to, it'd be nice if there could be like, there's freaking time travel in the show. Why, I'd like to see you do a season where you got Zordon when he actually could clean up his own damn command center.
Totally.
Ugh.
See him come out of the tube, what's going on?
How old is... Yeah, see? How old is Zordon supposed to be?
He's over 10,000 years old.
Good God, you look good for your age. Really good.
Well, it's regular colonics.
Well,
see, could be again.
I'm not really sure if they could actually bring him back because I know that they base a lot of the other seasons on the Sentai stories that they still draw footage from.
Yeah.
And since Zordon was never part of the Sentai, I'm not sure if there's any way they could actually...
You can still just have the mentor character just do the time travel back.
Oh, yeah. I'd be all for that. That would be awesome. I'd make sure that my contract was a little better this time around.
Thank you for your questions.
I don't know, but it's and I don't mean to draw too close a parallel here, but it's kind of like in the proverbial deal with the devil. No matter how you try to structure that deal, in the end you always get popped, And the thing about showbiz, you guys, is it is hard, grueling work, and many times it's a thankless job. And only now do we get the benefit to sit with you guys and really feel like the work was appreciated for what it was for you in those days. But if you knew what Jason and I made weekly on Power Rangers when we were #1 in the world, you would be like, what?
You'd sign us up for a charity.
And the
Here's the local church.
And the reason that we did it is because we wanted to perform more than anything.
And we were happier that first season than we ever were in our lives, I think. That's
So-
God's honest truth.
It's like the business is kind of a messed up business because it's all about people's perceptions of themselves, and there's an ego element to it too. And so you run into a lot of people who have too many mirrors in the house, if you know what I mean. But luckily we didn't have that problem because Jason, he breaks them with his nose. Sharp one. Yeah, he's got it.
All right, I saw a gentleman with sleeves in the way back.
That guy's been waiting all day.
And then we'll get you.
In the shows, you guys got like a lot of cakes, a lot of just random things spilled on you. Is there anything that you didn't want them to throw on you that they did?
Paul.
So, it's no shit. Narvy used to have PTSD about me falling on him. He would dream.
I'd be laying in bed and my girlfriend roll over. I'm like, ah!
Like the producers, you're gonna jump on me.
Yeah, we really didn't have a choice, man. It's in the stunts too. The first few years we did everything. And then at a certain point they realized we're gonna break them, and then we weren't allowed to do anything after that. Yeah.
Actually, that was the coordination into my question was, did you guys ever really get hurt out of anything that you guys did?
Somebody asked us that today, and the answer was no, actually. It's just kind of shocking when you think about it. And look, film is I was just having this talk with my students the other day because we were doing scene for the camera. These are all students that had taken stage combat, which is very different than actual film combat. And they were doing it so fake. I'm like, that would never sell on film. But in reality, film, they are stunt guys. If there's anything that just smacked of danger even slightly, they either pulled us away from it or they worked us and made sure we were going to be okay. And some of the most dangerous stuff we did had nothing to do with what was actually on film. Like we were saying, they would have us going up in high structures all the time, or they put us in a tree, or they put us on a motorcycle. But there's all kinds of dangerous stuff that wasn't the stunt stuff, the stuff that you saw of us getting hurt, we were rarely ever hurt more than just if even that.
Yeah, I never got hurt on the show. I stabbed myself in the leg multiple times doing Shakespeare in the Park, but note to self, don't run downhill with a cutlass. Because if you imagine, shing, you're running, you're going downhill, your arm goes like this, you step down the hill. Yeah, I got some good cutlass scars.
I feel like there's something about swords and eyeballs in general, that there's a magnet in the eye. You don't know this, but your eye is magnetized, as is a sword. So if there's a sword anywhere near you, I go, oh!
One-eyed bulk for real.
50% of all wounds are right in the eyeball. Anyway, okay, next. Boom.
While you were doing the Power Rangers, before you actually knew who they were, were you ever known to know who they were at any time during the production?
Did we know who they were as actors? Did we personally know who were the Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we knew them all. I mean, let's see, Richard Janelli was a Power Ranger, I think. He told us all the time.
Yeah.
Every time we go out to a bar, he'd tell everyone at the bar he was a Power Ranger.
That's
So
true.
he must have been.
That's true. Hey, Kimberly, I'm a Power Ranger.
Mrs. Appleby was a Power Ranger, she used to say.
Yes.
That's how she and Ernie ended up getting married. Did you know that?
I did not.
That is exactly
I love Royce Herron, the lady that plays Mrs. Appleby on the show, because she sends me emails all the time about random stuff. It's like, and I feel like this parochial thing, like I have to answer her like, she's your teacher.
Yeah.
Totally. It's very odd.
Yes, we knew everybody.
There's every episode we get a script, so we kind of know what is what. There were occasionally where they would occasions where they would introduce a character like Richie or Sarah or Susie or whatever her name was, where they might be thinking later that person may become a Power Ranger, but they're not kind of letting it on. And so if it's not let on in the script, then we really wouldn't know it. Right. So in that circumstance, that could be possible. Like we would not know, but generally we did. We knew what was up.
Although when we go to these cons every so often, we'll run into somebody like, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. We're like, who are you? They're like, I'm the Red Ranger from season 8. I'm like, I wasn't here in season 9.
I'm the Blue Ranger from Jungle Fury. And I'm like,
Jungle.
Hey, you imagine how many Power Rangers in a given season? 5, 6, right? How many seasons have we had? 20. Add the Japanese in. How many buses do you need to go on a field trip with all of the Rangers? You need a lot of buses.
Actually, these rows are in 5s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the first 10 years. Yeah. You're the next 10 years. That's basically how many Power Rangers there are.
If we could do like Boogie Nights meets Power Rangers in the 70s. Yeah, I could wear those outfits. Can I get some fake hair, like a big old like a big pompadour?
Yeah, if I got to be the Stan Lee of the new, that would be awesome. Show up, just some random old guy going, what the heck?
I want to do the Alfred Hitchcock. You're like way in the background. Someone opens the door and there you are. Just walking along. What was that? No.
All right. I have 2 questions. I've heard that Saban is, especially in the early years, was kind of a jerk. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I would dial that back. In the early years, we saw him a lot. It was such a small operation that if we knocked on Chaim's door, he would let us in. He would be like, yeah, come sit down and talk. So I don't know how that would be qualified as a jerk.
I don't know. That promo pilot that we did for Fox where my hair was like this?
Yeah.
Right? Before bulk existed? Yeah, so I was on set for that, and I had been shooting for most of the day, and then Cheryl, Chaim's wife, visited the set. And Chaim is next to me on an apple box, and I'm on the ground on a skateboard rigging to do that thing with the bowling pins. And Chaim goes, Cheryl, come here, you have to meet this guy, he's an idiot. And he was right.
Amy Jo took pity on us when season 2 began. She let us have her dressing room. Because our dressing room was literally the size of the stage, the first season. And so Amy Jo's like, oh guys, it's terrible. She's like, you got my dressing room. So it was so much bigger, it went all the way to the door.
All three of you shared the dressing.
Yeah, Amy didn't move her stuff out. No.
She's such a sweet sleeper.
Oh, you should probably get up from there. Why? Amy Jo's under you. Oh. Well, a little makeup on it, she'll be fine. Next.
We got in trouble from Amy Jo one time because we were stabbing swords through the wall. And she was like doing her hair and a sword like came out like she was like, you guys!
Stop it!
And then she knocked on us and we got in big trouble. And then there's us with putty spackling over these holes like, that happened, that was real. What's up, buddy? You got one more?
Yeah, well, this isn't so much a question, but it's something that I feel you guys should know. Last year, I remember many people stood up and told the Rangers how they had such a big impact on them, and maybe they had kind of a rough family life, and it was the Rangers who made them a good person in spite of, all that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we hear that.
Well, I don't know if many of these kids come up to you and say the same thing, but seeing the impact the Rangers had, I can only imagine like how many kids probably got bad grades now and then because they were easily distracted and maybe they felt like, oh, I'm dumb, I may as well just be a bully or whatever. And then they see your characters start that way but become heroes and they grow up from like, I don't know, 7 to 13 watching you become better, and then maybe that makes them want to better themselves.
Look, I think that I've said this a couple times. I think if Power Rangers came out today, I guess it is coming out every year, but if the original one came out now, I think the Power Rangers might be a little more like Bulk and Skull, because kind of as a society, we're kind of taking care of our outsiders more.
Yeah, being an outsider is cool now.
Yeah, and really, that's the most American thing there is. We don't have a shared history, so we're all outsiders in some way, shape, or form. Then you go back more than a couple of generations, So I think that the people that understand being bullied, the ones that understand being alienated, the ones understanding not knowing who the hell they are going to be, that's what Bulk and Skull are, and I think those are the people we want to see as heroes, That's what I think.
Yeah, our characters were about unconditional love, for unconditional friendship, always. And it was a little harder to see in the beginning when we were more antagonistic. But I always used to tell myself when we were like really acting very aggressively towards the Ranger characters, that my character would then go home and cry. So that was, I'm not kidding, that was my actor work, is that I justified him being such a sneering ass with the real super soft side of him being a total emotional basket case, which we got to bring into the characters later. So hey man, who doesn't have a rough day? And we all deserve to have a friend that's with you no matter what, ad infinitum till your dying day, and that's what he's got.
Unlike the Rangers, they're sending their buddies off all the time. Peace conferences.
Have we blown this hour away? Are we past
No, we're only at 45 minutes.
Oh!
One more though, if you want.
Another panel?
Pretty good way to run.
What time are we supposed to be done?
Whenever. They've given you free reign, so.
Tear up the carpet.
How about you in the back? You in the back, gunslinger position.
I know that the Rangers in the first few seasons that you were such a big part of have gone off to do some very diverse things. I know like Johnny Ambosh, for example, who's doing a tremendous amount of voice acting. Do you ever collaborate with any of them still on any of their projects?
Did Karen make you ask that question?
David?
I'm not really sure how much we can talk about it, but there is something that's in the works. Talk about it. I would keep my eyes peeled on the internet over the next 3 or 4 weeks because there will be some stuff showing up.
Yeah.
We also, Austin and Walt and I also did a project in this fall called Gideon's Frontier, which is nearing completion as well. So we do, and the fact that, and Paulie and I did a ton of theater outside of it, and we keep trying to figure out how to do a project from me in Chicago and him in Los Angeles.
Except you keep spitting kids out.
Look, I've got birthing kids.
You bounce back amazingly.
So yeah, I mean, of course, hey, you always want to play with your best friends, right?
Yeah, man, when I heard the band was getting back together, I was like, yeah, man!
Wait, you were in a band?
Yeah, man! Get some funyuns, man!
The project is a very hippie project, so.
Okay. It does strike me as kind of fun. I know it was brought up earlier as kind of a joke, you know, the Vulcan skull were the true goal of Zordon. But if you think about the blurb that they put in the opening of that, finding teenagers with attitude, there were not two characters with more attitude than Vulcan skull.
Why didn't you call Dave? Look, phone. Hang on.
Once again,
It ain't ringing, is it, David?
once again, I blame the incompetent robotic help.
Yeah, blame Stir Fry Head.
So I couldn't actually yell at the robot while he brought. I couldn't actually say, not those 5.
5 teenagers without it.
I didn't do nothing, guys. Sorry.
All right.
Can we get a new 5? Like, no.
Bring me 5 more.
2 over.
That's funny. And like they keep bringing these in. Like I wanted someone a little taller.
Have you guys seen the College Humor? Zordon is a racist.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right, give it up for him one more time.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, they don't even move their chairs. They're gonna make a trip.